Hi, I'm Balasuriya. Talking about hairdressing, actually it was a passion. I started long time ago. That was in 1994 and exactly 30 years from now. So it's a long way. And actually when I came into the industry, my role model was really Mrs. Ramani Fernando. And then at that time there was Harisaya, that we call him, and Ramzi, and the very high professionals who were there in the industry, who inspired me a lot. Actually, I learned a lot from them, because hairdressing is not merely a job. It is a job, you earn well, but you have to do it with passion. So I had that passion from my childhood. And when we came into the industry at that time, we didn't have so much social media. So it was just magazines and photographers, to name it. Satin magazine was like one of the first magazines I advertised. That brought in a lot of work. So with all that work, the passion grew into a very flourishing business. As now the newcomers into it as straight away at a business, but I don't think at that time I thought it as a business. It was just my talent, my ability, my passion for the job. I love makeup. That is my speciality, because it makes a person look really beautiful. You can enhance the natural features. Everybody has something beautiful in them. So we really have to bring out the beauty. And I really love it. I love my job. So as I say, it's a passion for beauty that made me start this profession. Actually, I like to emphasize a little bit of my past into the new generation. It was a lot of hard work. As I told you, dedication with passion. So merely not only money. So the new generation, there's a lot of newcomers coming in, and very talented people, I should say. And also there are some who do it as just only for the sake of doing for the moment, to earn something. That is not good to take the industry forward. I don't know, personally I feel. So I would like to say that you have to learn something, do it to the professional standard. Of course, tastes can differ, the trends can differ, like the trends of makeup, the types of makeup, the enhancing is much more than when we started. For instance, lots of nose cuts and cheek cuts and highlights bring out a lot. So the younger generation, actually they learn a lot from the YouTube. As I told you at the start, when we started, there wasn't YouTube and websites and all that. So now the younger generation have a lot of opportunity, lot of exposure to the outside world, to the internet. So they can learn a lot. But one advice is, when you practice it, see that it goes with the Sri Lankan trends. Because we have a trend, we have a tradition, we have a culture, at least in somewhat to maintain, especially when you are doing brides. That is the real bride, the natural bride, the bridal look. There are some people who can carry actually heavy makeup. That doesn't mean you have to load everything into one person. So it has to be very tastefully done, very mindfully done, and very step by step to go forward. Because some people come in the pretense of, like when we started, as I told you, Ramani and Harris and I call him Harisaya, Mrs. Ramani Fernando, Mr. Ramsey, they had built up a very nice standard. So there are just a few people who go in par with them to maintain that standard. But if you take as hairdressers, the country is full of hairdressers. We have salons in every 2-3 buildings, even in the outstations. So it's difficult to draw a line or to keep a margin. But if you do good work and you portray yourself, you will be a good hairdresser for yourself and to the country. And you will take your business forward. So you have to be very careful when you do this job, because it's a very selective job and a very tasteful job to do very mindfully with passion. A little bit of tips and some special points on everyday dressing. That is very important, because you are what you are and you can be even better than what you are, and if you maintain yourself, you can come up to a very high standard. Lots of people think, for instance, say someone comes and say, I want to look good, but like in an instant moment you can't do it. It needs a lot of maintenance. So everyday beauty tips are very important, because that takes you a long way, because you know with age, skin changes, the features changes. So if you just take me, if you saw me like 20, 30 years ago, I look much different than that. So that is nature. We have to face it. We have to face reality. But you can maintain to a certain extent. You can minimize. You can't stop it. Actually, we can't stop aging. From now, 10 minutes from now, I've changed a little bit. So we have to take it as it comes, enhance ourselves, maintain ourselves to look good. So beauty tips will take you a long way. Your proper cleansers, your proper toners. In Sri Lanka, I think a lot of people don't use moisturizers, because the famous thing I hear is, they say is, "Mata daadiya daanawa, mata moisturizer gaanda bෑ." Can't help it. At least you can use the moisturizer in the evening, because we are in a very tropical country. We can't wear makeup all day and walk on the road. So makeup is very tasteful. Makeup can be morning makeup, evening makeup, fashion makeup. It's a bridal makeup. You don't wear a bridal makeup and walk on the road. It can be a day makeup. It can be office makeup. So makeup also has to be very, very selective, very personal, very tasteful. So that is something that actually it's a big subject. So personal grooming is totally a different subject. Actually, I do a lot of personal grooming, like personality development, grooming programs for officers, banks, hotels, because we have to groom ourselves. We have to. Even if you take the dictionary and take the word grooming, they say you groom a horse. So the cut and polish, it has to come. So it has to be done tastefully, depending on each individual. That's also personal. So you select whether I want to groom myself or not, whether I want to just be what I am or whether I have to move forward. So if you have to move forward, you have to groom yourself. Otherwise, you have to just stay, මම වයසට යනවානේ, මං කැත වෙලානේ, හැමදාම ඒ වගේ. If you give up, it's gone. I never give up. With my age, I somehow or other keep up to the trend, groom myself, and try to look better day by day. So if you want, say to look better, you have to think of groom yourself. Now I have a client here for a haircut. So that even if you do a haircut, it has to complement your features. If you do a hair color, it has to complement your skin color. Just because someone has a blonde hair color, if you can't carry blonde, you shouldn't do blonde. So that is actually very tasteful. You have to know where to select and where to draw the line. Actually, I have to share a little bit of memorable moments of my journey, but not a little. I have a lot. It was not easy. It was a hard way. It's not really competition, but it's like coming onto that stage. So you have to do hard work. You have to sacrifice a lot of time. And say once I dressed a nice bride, and I saw a magazine. I won't mention the name of that. So I took a photograph and went to that magazine to get it published. So the person who is doing it, his wife was also a hairdresser. So he put my bride's picture without my name. So I was wondering, who would know that I did the bride? So I felt very sad. So then I did another magazine. I thought, okay, I have to put another picture. My name is in like small letters in a corner. හොයන්නවත් බෑ. So it was not easy. That journey was not easy. Then when you go to dress brides, I've made lots of, once I can remember I had to go somewhere far away to dress a bride, and I had left the blow dry and gone. So we forget things. So I had a niece living on the way, managed to get a blow dryer. Once on the way to Gaul, somewhere in Gaul I realized that I didn't have a hairspray. Actually after that only I started preparing a checklist. Never ever forget anything after that. So then you have to stop somewhere and get the hairspray and all that. Then there are instances like you give the bouquets, like bouquets have had enough problems. I've given the bouquets to a person and that person had made the bouquet had to be collected by the baseman after mass, right? The going away bouquet. And this guy had forgotten to collect it. So I went to the hotel and no going away bouquet. So when we called the flower shop, they have closed the flower shop and gone. So I went to the wedding hall, picked up some flowers from the table decor and made a bunch of flowers, and they were like big flowers. So on the way to the hall, in the hotel, you get a mirror and a flower stand. I picked a flower from that and put it on her head and took the bride into the hall. So there are lots of things like that we have gone through, and we learn with mistakes, and mistakes can't happen again. So there's a lot of professionalism in taking a bride into the hall, so or going to the church or going to the porva. We have to see of being punctual, being precise, being very, the bride has to be elegant and nice, to be properly dressed, lots of things. So this takes us a long, long way. And because of that being particular about everything, that brings you up. Because if you're particular about everything, then no mistakes. So actually one has to understand that this is a very responsible professional job. We have lot of subjects in this, like hair care, skin care, nail care, and actually in the new trends there are like eyebrows, microbladings, you name it. We have 18 subjects. I think now there's about 35 subjects if you really go to be to do what you want to do. So you can select your way through to one and do that properly, or you can have a salon and you actually I can't do everything, so I have a speciality. My speciality is my brides, my weddings. So when I undertake a wedding, I take it with responsibility, and my main word is passion. So if there's passion there, you will do a good job. So as I did, and I'm here in 30 years talking in front of you, actually first of all I must first or not lastly thank this interview for me, because I appreciate it so much. We go into the world now with website and social media, not like earlier we take photographs into a TV program. Actually I have to be very thankful to the TV that gave us the opportunity first, but TV is also there. But we hardly do any TV programs now, and the younger generation don't put on the TV to watch. Their main thing is social media. So here we are again with all of you, and wishing all of you all the very best. Thank you very much.